Hey guys, it's Marissa and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be talking about some things I wish I did differently before I signed the lease to my university house. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you're liking this rental series. Definitely let me know if there's any more videos like this that you want me to do. In the past I've done a step-to-step guide, I've done some do's and don'ts, and I've also shown you guys around my university house as well. So if you guys are interested in those, definitely go check them out. But today I'm going to be talking about things that I wish I did differently before signing the lease to this house. That's not to say I don't love this house. I think my housemates and I did a really good job at choosing this house, getting on it fast and all those good things. But now looking back in retrospect, there are some things I wish that we had found, or like some things that I feel this house was missing that we would have really enjoyed. And this video is again in partnership with Luxury Student Rentals, which is a local company here in London that helps students like me and you find houses here to fit your needs. They are a really great company. I use them, a lot of my friends use them, and the process is really easy. You basically just schedule an appointment with them, and one of their leasing agents will actually pick you up from residence if that's an option that you would like, and take you around to see a couple of houses. We found this house in the second time we went around looking, so it really didn't take long to find a good house with them. They were very straightforward, transparent, to the point, and it was just an overall really good and easy experience. I know that going to rent your first house can be a really scary and intimidating process, and they made it very easy. If you guys are looking for a house to rent, definitely check them out using the links and the phone number in the description box down below. But let's get on into the video. One thing that I talked about in my do's and don'ts that I'm gonna say and talk about again a little bit more now is the different neighborhoods in London. And this isn't necessarily for London, but like just learning about the neighborhoods a little bit more I think would have been really useful. I love my neighborhood. I think the biggest thing with that is the travel time going to class, especially with things being in person in the beginning of this year. It was really nice to be able to get on the bus quickly, reliable, and get there pretty fast. Sometimes I wish it was a little bit easier to get to class. In contrast, if I were to find a house in Old North, it would have been so much easier to get to class. I wouldn't have had to stress about bringing lunches and staying there all day. It's just a whole lot easier of a commute. I don't think I would have minded like a 10-minute walk to class. I think it would have been a nice breath of air before getting to class. But then again, I would probably be showing up to class just as it starts and like sweaty and just because I'm running there. But that in general was just something I wish I had thought about a little bit more. We really had no preference on our neighborhood, but we ended up in a really good spot nonetheless. If you want to know a little bit about the neighborhoods more, definitely go check out my do's and don'ts video. Another thing that I wish I had done was looked at a little bit more diverse houses. I think a lot of the houses that we saw were about this range of finish in the house, and I feel like this is very mid-range, it's very standard. A lot of houses in this neighborhood especially have this type of finish, I feel. There were some older ones that we saw in Old North that were definitely just like a completely different feel. Definitely not as modern as this. Not that this is modern, but you know, the other ones were a little dated. But there definitely are some nicer finishes out there of houses with like nicer countertops, a little bit nicer appliances that work better. Again, that is maybe not something that we really felt like we needed, and that's fine. I do feel like there are some nicer houses out there with, again, the nicer appliances, specifically the dishwasher. Sometimes the dishwasher in our house is not very good because it is that midline dishwasher, and they're not necessarily more expensive from what I've heard. So definitely something to ask about if you guys are going and seeing houses. When you see a house like ours, ask if there's a house with nicer finishes that are around the same price type of thing. Like ours is very mid-end, but she does the job and not mad about it at all. One thing I definitely wish I had, and I think my roommates can all speak to that as well, is having an outdoor space. Prioritizing an outdoor space in general. It is like London, Ontario, so it is pretty cold most of the time. It's like -15 today, which is crazy. When it is like the beginning of the year in like September and the end of the year in like March, April, it gets really nice outside. And last year we would literally lie in our bikinis on our driveway. And we like live kind of at the front of the street, so everyone walking to their houses, all like their families, all like the random people, and all the other students would just walk by us like blasting our music, lying on the driveway. And just like having somewhere to sit outside is really nice, especially with things when they were online. Just a larger front patio that's like covered even that, like steps to sit on really. Or like I know some houses down Sarnia Road and like Old North, obviously they have a lot of nice outdoor spaces in the back of their houses as well. It just wasn't really something that we were thinking about. If you are looking for an outdoor space, I would look for one that's covered. Ours isn't covered, like our tiny little, it's not a porch, it's like a step, but we sit there sometimes. If it was covered, it'd be even more ideal. Something else that I think about often, even when like choosing rooms, was natural light. I am very susceptible to natural light and not having enough of it, and it affecting my mood. And so when I was thinking about the room that I got to choose, because I got to choose first, we did like a little coin flip. I was debating between this room and Sharpie's room. Sharpie's room faces west, gets a lot of like the afternoon sun, which is really pretty. I don't think I would have been mad there, but I really liked, for some reason, this room. And this room I actually like because it is like 10:50 right now, so I get a lot of morning light, and I never thought I would say this. Like my high school self would be screaming and confused, but I am a morning person now apparently. Having the light in the morning when it's a little quieter in the house is really peaceful to me. It does a lot for my mood. I kind of get the morning to wake up, do my stretches in the morning light, and I really like that. Same thing with the living room. It doesn't really get very much light because it's only getting light from the north side, so it's only getting north light, but somehow like the lighting in there is not too bad. Another thing that we probably didn't really think about at all, obviously London, Ontario isn't the most dangerous place in the world, but it's not the safest either. We live in like a very student neighborhood. There are other types of households mixed in, and we are by Oxford and Warncliffe, which is a pretty busy intersection in my opinion. Oxford is a pretty busy street. And we are not too far off from downtown, but we did get broken into last year, beginning of this year. No, we got broken into at the beginning of this year. Thankfully, no one saw them, but we were asleep when it happened. They came in through the kitchen window, which was open, but we always had it open, so we never thought that was an issue. Now we know. Anyways, that is something to think about, especially if you're in a house with all girls. We are a house with all girls. Charlotte has a boyfriend, so sometimes that makes it feel a little bit better, but like our neighbors all know that we're a house of all girls, and it can just be a little bit scarier, as well as like it not being a completely student neighborhood. We do have like a couple interesting neighbors as well. They've never done anything to harm us. They were really actually quite nice when we got broken into. They like saw the window screen was blowing in the wind and like saw us dealing with it and wanted to make sure we were fine. But besides that, my window, this one, like faces down into his porch. He's always down there smoking. I can't be bothered to close my blinds. I love the natural light, so I'm never gonna close them. I keep them open at night. When I'm like changing, it is kind of something I have to think about. If I was in the room that Charlotte's in now, I would probably just change without thinking about it at all. And like I also face the street out of this window, so you know, not the best in terms of that. Us being so close to the street, I think that's why we were so easily targeted. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the closest to grocery stores, convenience stores, cafes that you could study at, parks, things that will like improve quality of life a little bit more in the small ways. Grocery stores, having it be really close, really easy to get to. Our location is not too far if you're walking to Cherry Hill. We are like not too far from Marisa, which is a nice cafe downtown. There's a 7-Eleven not too far. There is all the stores on Oxford and Warncliffe, Starbucks, McDonald's, things that are easily accessible, and like we're really good walk breaks, and like we still use them all the time to like go for walks and stuff like that. As well as like being close to the river. We go down to the river to go on walks there a lot too. There's a park further down the street, as well as like being close to downtown. We are not too far, but I think it would have been really interesting to have lived downtown and be close enough to just walk downstairs and see the line and not pay for Ubers, I think is something that would have been really interesting. Just I wonder what it would be like to never have to worry about Ubering to the club, you know? Of course, these are lots of issues if like Instacarting your groceries is something you're completely fine with, or if you have a car. But again, walking to the grocery store in the winter is not that fun, especially when you have a lot that you need to buy. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said before, if there's anything that you'd like me to talk more about, I would definitely be down to do that. And thank you again to Luxury Student Rentals for partnering with me on this video. Like I said, they're a really good company, and I really do recommend them a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.